Hi everyone! Today we're going to talk about overwintering peppers. Now traditionally peppers are grown as an annual plant because they're killed off by frost at the end of the growing season. But did you know that peppers can actually be grown as a perennial? And with a little bit of effort you can overwinter your favorite pepper plants so that you get a head start on your next growing season. And you can start from a plant such as this one right here, rather than starting from seed, and have peppers to harvest a whole lot easier. So it's really very simple to overwinter peppers, and today I'm going to show you how to do it in a couple of different ways. Overwintering in a container inside your house, and overwintering right in your garden bed. So first of all, let's talk about overwintering your peppers right in your garden beds. This is a great option for you if you're a southern gardener like I am here in California, and we rarely get a hard frost. Sometimes get a few nights of light frost, but typically our wintertime temperatures at night are in the 40s, sometimes in the high 30s. So when it gets this cold, you're going to see your pepper production definitely slow down because peppers are very cold sensitive, and your leaves might start to droop. This is a sign that your peppers are ready to be prepared for overwintering. So the first step is to harvest any peppers that might still be on the plant. Now I've already done this, but we do have one little straggler right here. So I'm going to go ahead and snip it off. And the second step is I'm going to prune back the plant. So we're going to prune back the plant pretty severely because the plant will go dormant in the cold temperatures, and we want all of the energy to go into keeping the plant alive, not into producing new leaves or new branches. So we're going to go down to the bottom Y here of the plant, and we're going to prune just above that, prune all these branches off. So I'm going to take this branch off. And here's another Y in the plant here. So we're going to cut this branch off. I'm going to cut off these extra little branches. Take these off. I'm going to take the cage off so you can see this a little bit more clearly. Then we're also going to take off these little leaves right here because again, we want all of the energy to go into keeping the plant alive, not into growing new leaves at this point in the growing season. Take off these. And see how this branch is a little bit on the yellow side? I'm going to take that off. Now I realize this does look very, very drastic. However, keep in mind our goal here is not to grow a pepper right now. Our goal here is to keep this plant alive and overwinter it so that we have some fresh new growth come spring. Now that we've pruned it, the next step is to add some soil amendment and fertilizer. So I'm going to pull back the leaves here. They're at the base of the plant. And I'm going to add in a handful of my homemade compost. So I'm just going to sprinkle that in around the base of the plant. And next I'm going to add in a handful of the vermisteria worm castings, which add good beneficial bacteria and microbes to the soil. We want to give this plant some good nutrients over the winter time so that it can stay alive and be really healthy come springtime. So I'm just going to scratch that into the base. So we've got our soil amendments added. Now I'm going to add a little dose of the vermisteria worm tea and the good dirt plant food. Again, the worm tea adds beneficial bacteria and microbes to the soil, and the good dirt plant food is going to give it a good dose of nutrients. Now that we've got our pepper plant pruned, we've added some soil amendments and fertilizer. Then third step is to add some mulch to the base of your plant. Now the reason why you want to do this is because you want to protect your plant's roots from the cold during the winter time. Even here in California, we can get nights, an occasional night into the 20s, but definitely we have nights in the 30s, and we want to protect this pepper plant's roots from cold. So here I'm just adding some shredded leaf mulch to the base of the plant. I put a couple inches down here. You can also add straw or wood chips or whatever you have available. It's going to keep it nice and warm over the winter time. Now this pepper happens to be one of my favorites, the California Wonder Pepper, and it was very productive over the springtime. So I'm really looking forward to keeping this pepper over the winter time. When the weather starts to warm up, this pepper will start to push out new leaves, and I'll be harvesting California Wonders that much quicker. Now, besides overwintering peppers in a warm climate in your garden beds, the second option for overwintering peppers is in a container. So this is a great option for you if you live in a cold winter climate, you get lots of hard frosts, maybe you have nights below zero, maybe it's just stinking cold all winter long, but you want to hang on to one of your favorite pepper plants. So I'm going to show you how to do that here with this plant right here. You can see it's looking pretty droopy. The leaves are looking terrible, but we are going to overwinter this one in a container. So we're going to start with the same steps that we did when we overwintered a pepper here in the garden bed. First, I'm going to harvest any peppers that are on the plant. And I do have one little, whoops, there we go, we harvested that one. Do have one little tiny pepper to pick off, and then I'm going to prune back the plant. So again, we're going to look for the Y at the bottom of the plant here. And I believe this is actually two separate plants in here. So here we have the Y at the bottom of the plant. Can go ahead and clip the branches right above the Y. Going to do the same on the second plant right here. Peppers you can actually grow very close together. The second thing we're going to do now that we have our pepper plant pruned back is we're going to place it in a container. Now I'm going to be growing my pepper plant in this CaliKim 5-gallon smart pots. And I do like growing in these pots because the fabric is breathable. Your plant doesn't get root bound like it does in a plastic container. The roots stay healthier, which means you're going to grow more pepper plants once the weather warms up. And you can grab these over on my website. I've already got some potting soil in here. You don't want to dig up your garden soil and use that for your containers. It's just too heavy. Your plant won't grow as well. So I'm going to carefully dig around the roots of the plant, maybe about 6 inches or so from the plant itself. I'm going to loosen it up. Now my soil here is already very loose, so it's not too hard to loosen this particular plant, but do be careful if your plant is in heavy clay soil that you don't damage the roots. So you can see I'm just digging down all around the plant to loosen it up. I'm gonna get my shovel down in there and lift the plant out. Then I'm going to place it right in my container. So now that I have my plant in my container, I'm going to follow the same steps. Second step is to add some amendments and some fertilizer, adding a sprinkle of compost, a handful of worm tea, and I'm also going to add some more potting soil just up to the base of the plant here. So I'm going to water in the soil amendments, give it a good dose of Vermistera worm tea and the Good Dirt plant food. Give it some good nutrients. And the third step is to add some mulch around the base of your plant. Now, if you live in a cold winter climate, you're going to want to move your plant indoors to protect it from the cold. So you really just need a little sprinkle of mulch around the base of your plant. Or you can not add mulch at all. That's really your option. But if you live in a mild winter climate, you're going to grow your container pepper plant outside and overwinter it. You definitely need to add a couple inches of mulch around the base of your plant, just like we did in your garden beds. And what you might want to do in a mild winter climate, if you're going to overwinter outdoors, is put this up against your house on your patio, up against a stone wall, just to give it a little bit of extra protection from the cold during the winter. So if you're in a cold winter climate, what you want to do now is bring your container pepper plant inside, put it by a sunny windowsill, or pop it under a grow light. It doesn't need a ton of light, but you just don't want to put it in your garage or somewhere where it's going to be in the dark all the time. Keep the soil moist. Once the weather warms up, you can transition it to the outdoors slowly, and you're going to be really excited to see brand new leaves grow from your pepper plant. And you'll be harvesting peppers that much sooner than if you grew them from seed. And of course, you're going to want to plant some new seeds as well, because you're going to want to have some brand new varieties of peppers too. So comment below, let me know if you'll be overwintering pepper plants, either in your garden beds or in a container. And make sure you subscribe to this channel, because we will be coming back and doing updates as these pepper plants grow and pop out new leaves in the spring. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next video.